My name is Diego Arturo Mendoza Ramos. I am a multidisciplinary artist based in Los Angeles and now New York City. And I'm really, really stoked to be here right now. So growing up, I was originally actually born in Mexico, in Tecate. It's like a border town. It's like kind of just like the slums of Mexico in a sense. Like the house was made out of like freaking steel sheets and like wood and all that. So that's where I was originally born. And then I came into the country when I was like 6 years old. When we first came into the country, it was me and my mom. We were brought over with my dad, and so we lived in Compton for a very good while. And so from there, we started slowly emigrating towards Inglewood. And so most of my life and my upbringing was around Lenox and Inglewood City. And where the art component came into it was that my mom actually started tapping into lowrider art magazines, and she just like, my uncle from Mexico, he was deeply into lowriders, and I guess that kind of influenced her as well. And so she started getting into it, and when she did, she started to like do a lot of the drawings and started to really tap into it. And I'd see my mom do it all the time, and so I just wanted to catch up to her in a sense, you know. I'd see her doing it, and I'm like, you know what, like, yo, I want to do this too. I started kind of just like drawing on my own using her supplies. And then eventually what happened was I was looking through her magazines, and there was a section there, a graffiti section. And I was like so stoked on it. I was like looking through it every day, just going, yo, this is cool. I tried imitating some of it, but I realized like, no, it just doesn't, you know, it doesn't look right, you know, and it doesn't look like me. And so at some point I asked my mom, like, yo, can you teach me how to do this? And so she's like, yeah. Like, she started kind of just showing me a little bit of the ropes of what she knew. And so a lot of it started with graffiti, my mom teaching me that. And then during that, she got so like driven into the culture of things that she just started tapping into that, and she just felt like she wanted to be a full-time artist in a sense. But what happens with like Chicano art culture, which is like, it's such a beautiful thing, but it's also an unfortunate thing that it has a lot of dark sides to it as well, just like any other culture does, is that like, of course, there's a drug usage and just like the things around it. So eventually she tapped into that and like just decided she just didn't want to be here anymore. She just wanted to live her own free life as an artist. As a child, like, it sucks to hear that, but as an artist now, growing up and understanding that like, to be an artist and have your freedom is the most important thing ever, is something that I've learned throughout the years to like really like acknowledge and be like, all right, like I respect it now, you know, as an artist. And but yeah, that's basically it. Like, my upbringing really consisted of like me being totally inspired by my mom, but then when she left us when I was 10 years old, it was finding methods of like continuing to create, not just to like cope and not to like repress a lot of things into this art, but also to express a lot of it, and also kind of keep her closer in a sense, because I felt like she taught me this. What's a good way to like immortalize something? It's like you just keep creating, and that's what I was doing with the art growing up and stuff. I went on a tangent. What's up?
No, that's all good. I love tangents. I'm not even kidding. Would you say that, you know, your mom left,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And then you're saying now that you understood that it's because that she's an artist,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you have to let your, you know, even as an artist, you have to be kind of wild, kind of
Yeah.
free to express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you feel like that inspired your work, or do you feel like if you were there, would that have, you know, help you even more to help your work? You know, what would you say?
I feel like if she were here, if she would have stayed here, like, it would have been a whole different story. We probably wouldn't even be here, honestly, because I am a true believer that you are thrown these obstacles and you're thrown all these like hardships to like test you and to like truly challenge your fullest potential and capacity and resilience. And so I feel like if she was still around, I would have been so comfortably living with that and been like, oh, life is great. Like, you know, I probably would have gotten into like the colleges, and I probably would have done like all these like art things, but like I don't know, I wouldn't take it back though. You know, like she lived through all that and she experienced all that, and I got to experience that as well, where what it did is it helped me develop. I mean, even though it did give me some issues in terms of like abandonment issues, which I'm very aware of and conscious of, it also gave me a lot of independent, you know, traits, and it gave me a lot of like traits that helped me develop myself, because it's one of those things where like when you have a missing component, you know, that you are feeding inspiration off of, that actually it's not that it's missing, it's just that it's open for you to like build your own inspiration. So I feel like I didn't grow up to be more like my mother, I grew up to be more like myself because of that. And so I'm very thankful for that. I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, so like with that happening, like growing up, at first I was very resentful because as a kid you just start to think like, why would you leave us, you know? Why would you not, like, do you not love us enough type of deal? But like growing up, it's like, you know, you learn how to forgive, you learn that people do change, and sometimes they do things, you know, that of course they acknowledge that they're mistakes. And so now growing up, like I've luckily had the chance to like meet up with my mother again, probably like 9-10 years after what happened, managed to get the closure that we needed on that, and like just like provide the forgiving each other for like how we treated each other throughout the years. Like I was very resentful, so like when we would talk to my mom on the phone, I'd just be very short because I'm like, no, like I still, you know, I was young and I held a lot of spite and resentment, where it's like, no, if I would have used that energy to heal already and like go, you know what, this is my mom, these things happened, you know, let's just put that in the past and let's start continuing to grow. But no, me being young and not aware and conscious of that yet, I just stuck to my like, no, I'm not gonna give this as much energy and attention. I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, not noticing that that was my own form of repressing, you know, all that happened. So like I said, luckily I was able to sit down with her, have breakfast with her, and just like literally converse over everything and be fully transparent and be fully understanding of everything. So that's something that was a very big blessing, you know. So I feel like all these things happening, like her even doing that, it's like, I mean, I wouldn't encourage that to happen to anyone. Like, I hope no one takes that from this conversation, like, oh, ditch your kids, go, you know, go fulfill your dreams, you know. There's always a way to do things, but sometimes these things happen and it's just so new to us, you know, that like, it sucks when that happened, you know, but like, I understand it all, you know. That's the thing, like these things, it's life, it happens. But like if you come to this level of understanding and you truly feel like, you know what, like these things didn't, like you don't victimize yourself because of these things, because I am guilty of doing that for a very good while, until I like switched it up and realized like I'm not a victim, I'm a warrior of this, you know. Like it's something that you either let it make you or break you, you know. So it broke me for a very good while, but like luckily I finally reached this level of like, nah, like it actually, like you look back at like all the quote unquote breaking and you're like, whoa, that wasn't even breaking, that was a lot of like making, because what you thought was broken there, it was actually you know, fixing with your own energy and your own heart. And so as you start looking at the whole journey leading up to where you are now, it's like, whoa, I actually built more like alone, feeling that pain and like trying to provide love for it than I thought I did. And so yeah, so that's like the beautiful part about it. Holy hell, I just came to another realization during this interview. Kyle, how do you do it? Oh my God.
I don't even know. Well, I feel like this is a common thing between artists and stuff, and even for myself too. Like, I feel like we come from broken homes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you've talked to other artists too, that their work is probably the best work, and they probably have the craziest story.
Bro.
You know, can you talk about that a little? Just like, you know, you're being in the culture of just like of creatives. You know, you know that everyone, well, maybe even majority, maybe 99.9% of the people are from broken homes. You know, like, can you talk about that a little bit?
Dude, it's so much that it's like, it's not even funny, but I'm still gonna crack up because that shit is hilarious. Yeah, dude, no, it's something that's so raw, and it's just a funny pattern to observe in the art community. It's like, dude, we all come from like something that broke in our like primal years or our first stages of life. Like something bad had to happen, but it's like that's the most beautiful thing ever though, because it's like that's what laid analogy time. I'm not gonna snap. Kept that on point. I'm not gonna stop. Oh, I got you. Analogy time. All right, you have nothing but like solid ground, like it's just dirt, like dirt for you to like grow on, you know. And then this like shit event happens where out of nowhere, once that happens, you have like concrete just laid all over that ground that you would have grown out of. But it's one of those things where at those moments it might seem impossible for anything to grow out of it, but like you find a way, you know, you find a way to grow through these like circumstances that you're placed under. and then that's where like the true flower blossoms. So when it comes to broken homes and like artists and like just creatives in general, I feel like that's what it is, that like we feel so broken from something that has happened to us, and we try to find different methods of healing. And so it's such a rigorous like journey, because you don't know what is going to heal you. You don't know if you're just repressing, you know, or if you're like projecting, or if it's like actual healing, you know. And so when that happens, that's when like the true flower starts to blossom, and that's where you see most of the beautiful art from like millions of artists, not even like in our generation, but like from like Picasso to like Warhol to like Michel Basquiat, like all this Basquiat before somebody checks me. Like all these artists have all gone through their own trials and tribulations and have like overcome it in their own way. And so that's why I feel like it's the most like beautiful and like tragic blessing for an artist to have, because it's like, and they make memes out of this, like, yo, you need to be feeling hurt and broken, because that's why it's called painting. Like, you get it? It's painting, you know, you're supposed to feel pain, you know, because that's truly a method of like just releasing this energy and making it like, that's the beauty of being an artist, that like you feel this pain, but through all this pain you create beauty. Like that's the magic of an artist. You have the ability to like transfer energy and create something that's like just so beautiful, you know. And that's why I give it up to all my artists that like have all gone through stuff, that have come from broken homes, that have come from situations and circumstances that were like against them, and have overcome it by creating their own reality and creating what they want to see, or even like expressing what they feel so they can translate it to the world. Because by you doing that already, like what you're doing is you're inspiring someone else to do the same, to express themselves in a healthy manner, to express themselves in a way that expresses like bravery, you know, and like a sense of resilience. And it embraces like overpowering and empowering your own emotions and your own circumstances by doing so.
Maybe it's a process,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but maybe when do you know that, or maybe you can just answer this, like, will you be healed? Or is it just always a process?
It's always a process, and I think the reason why I feel like you're probably asking that, and a lot of people do ask that, like, oh, am I healed yet, is because we see it as an endpoint. Like, oh, I'm healed, all right, cool, I don't have to worry about this anymore. It's like, no, healing is just an everyday thing, and it's one of those things where you can either see it as a tiring thing, or you can see it as a very beautiful thing. The beautiful thing is like, you know, every day that you heal, you find new things about yourself. You find new ways to do things in such a healthy manner and positive manner. And even by doing so, you find new ways to inspire other people to heal, you know? Because I feel like healing isn't just like a personal spiritual thing, but it's an all around human, like social society type of feel and thing, where like you want to, the purpose of a human is to belong. What better way to belong than to like realize that you have the ability to heal others around you and help them live their best life and their most fulfilling life. Keyword being fulfilling, because it's just something that a lot of people don't experience in their lifetime, and it's such a sad thing to see. So it's a never-ending process that like provides never-ending fulfillment. You know, like every day, like, because if you're already healed, what happens is you just forget about it. You forget that you healed, and you just, yeah, you keep living. But if you're working on healing and you also focus on just like living in general, and you combine those two, you acknowledge that like you're growing each day. And it's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thought to go, oh my God, I'm growing. Just like when you're practicing a new skill and you're learning something new in it, or you get better at it, you're like, you get excited. You get this rush of like energy and life, because you're like, whoa, I'm getting good at this, okay. And so if you put that same feeling into healing, you feel the same way about life, you know? You're just like, whoa, I would have reacted this way about that, but I'm reacting in such a good way. Whoa, I'm getting good at this, like my resilience, the way that I'm doing this, like, yo, I think I want to share this right now, just like I'm sharing it here. Like I wouldn't be able to share it right now if I didn't feel that, you know? So it's just a never-ending, a very beautiful and rigorous, I will say rigorous, because if it was easy, anybody could do it, but a very beautiful and rigorous, never-ending journey, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Well, what's, I guess kind of talking back at your story,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, I guess just talk about the whole thing with you getting into art. You touched on it a little bit, but I know that you were into graffiti, you know?
Yeah, dude.
Would you say that's your gateway drug to it?
That was my lord. that was the most intense gateway drug to it, because that, like talking about rush again, so proper use of gateway drug. The rush that came from it made me feel like nothing in the world mattered at that point. I was just like, no, like I want to paint this wall. Like I want to be noticed for it. I want to let people know that like, yo, I can do this, you know? Like, you know, it's just a major rush that comes with all of its other benefits to it. You know, like you get to decompress and express yourself entirely, but it also comes with like fame and like all these things that are like, you know, some like senses of validation at the time that like when you're healing in that sense, like validation and all that means so much from others when you're healing and when you're going through so much trauma that like at that point I was like, dude, this validation feels dope. Like I'd go to school and people would be like, yo, that's so dope, write my name, do this. And like I would do it back then because I was like, I mean, I'll still do it, but you know, plus tax. It's all love. It's like you do it because you feel this sense of like, oh, I'm being validated by others right now. Like this is awesome, especially with me at that time feeling like, damn, I didn't get this validation from my mother, you know, because she just left. Like that validation at that time helped fill that void, you know? And so as an artist and just doing that at the time, it was a good rush. It was a good gateway drug. It was the proper gateway drug for it because it literally opened up to a lot of like interesting people, because the graffiti world is just, it's so dope. It's like almost like a comic book strip where people have these alter egos and they become discreet about it. And when you find out about who's who in this like game and in this world, you're just like, wait, that's you? Yo, I saw this, I saw that. And they're like, yeah, dude, what's up, man? And it's just, you create this bond of like, we're kind of like our own superheroes in our own world, you know? And we're like our own little like mysterious like characters in our own world. And it's a beautiful thing. So that like just helped it all grow, man. It created a world of just like artists and people who are also healing and like are also trying to find their own senses of validation through their own personal traumas. And like you just provide one platform where they can do that and like kind of mess shit up here and there, you know, on a wall or two, you know. And then yeah, dude, so that's my gateway drug, man. And I love it. Graffiti is my gateway drug because that has led me to places that I never thought I'd go to, you know.
When did you start doing graffiti?
So I started kind of sketching things out and doing that when my mom was around. So that was when I was 10. She dipped. And so what would happen is while she did dip, we had a house in Rosarito that my dad had bought for us because that was going to be like our summer home to go to, or weekend home, because it's not even that far of a drive. And so my dad, I honor this man in so many ways. He loved my mother so much that he's like, you know what, like, yeah, you dipped out and, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. It's like, but what I can do is you're still my, you know, my children's mom. Like, I want to make sure that you're taken care of too. He literally gave that house to my mom. So like what we would do is we'd go visit my mom like every summer or like every other like month for a good while. And so when I was out there, oh, that's when shit popped off, bro. Oh my God. All right, so what was the question again so I can make sure I don't lose track of it?
When did you start doing graffiti?
Oh, bro. So I would write with markers here. I would write on in middle school, just like writing here and there. But like when I'd go visit my mom, that's when it all popped off. Like I started to get like associated with like graffiti artists in like Tijuana and my hometown Tecate, Rosarito, and it was just dope because over there it's a whole different ballpark. Like here we do paint a lot and we do like F shit up. But over there, they're like, no, they get on top of billboards and they paint buildings upside down to like, just to get their name up, because it's one of those like cities where it's like, it is like heavy, like the slums are kind of heavy around there. Like you have your nice areas, but like that's like 30%, and the other 70% is like slums, dude. Like houses that like are barely running on like some kind of water with like fucking steel sheets and all that. And so my mom was super dope, because she was still trying to make up for like everything that happened, so she'd always buy me spray paint. So every time I'd go to like a store, she'd be like, all right, so what kind of paint you want? I'm like, sweet. And because my dad, he would never, and he has never bought me spray paint. Yeah. So my mom would buy me all the paint that I wanted at the time, and I was like super stoked. So that's when I started to really like go bombing and go piecing. I'd practice in my room over there, like just practice like piecing and like my lines and getting all like the designs on point. And then like I just told my mom, all right, mom, I'm gonna go out with my friends to go paint, and she'd be like, all right, be safe, like, you know, and that's it. Like she just gave me that freedom, and I was just like, you sure? You good with that? It's like, all right, cool. So that's when it really popped off. I just started painting the canals in Rosarito, a lot of the walls out there. I've even been chased like by like Mexican military police, which is wild, dude. That story is fucking crazy. Like, but that's how you know that's like a testament of like how much you love this shit. Like, I was painting some canals, which are like lead to the sewers, right? And it's like, just like the LA River, it's like you have the LA River going down this way, and then you have the two highways on the sides. So basically, the highways weren't even that high. They were like probably like 15 feet high above us, and we were painting underneath. We had a military truck pull up, and so basically, they in Spanish, they're just like, all right, like, tienen a la cuenta de cinco para tirar todo y ya, acaben. So basically, it's like you got like 5 seconds to like drop all your shit, or else like, and be done, because we're basically gonna like book you in, and it's like, and if you don't stop, we're gonna shoot. And so I was like, damn, my dad's gonna like hate me after this interview. Oh my God, I just realized that. Love you, Dad. So what happened was, they gave us to the count of 5. I told my homie, bro, like, that's the police. And I was like 13 years old, 14 years old. I didn't know, dude. I was just like, oh shit, okay. My homie, he was like 16 or 17 at the time there. I met him there in the Rosarito. He's just like, nah, don't worry about it. They're just bullshitting. And so it's like, just keep painting, finish your piece. We're trying to finish. Next thing you know, like, he counts to 5 and he's done. I'm like, dude, he just finished counting. And so all you hear is like, and then through the top of us. I was just like, whoa, fuck this. So like, dude, I just go like, fuck this. I'm not about to like, no, I'm not about to die here. Fuck this shit. I don't even like this piece. I'm done. That's it. So start running through the opposite side, and we start leading towards the canals into the sewers. And so they start chasing us. This is like at 3 a.m. They start chasing us. We like hide out for a bit, but then we realize that they're kind of catching up. And we end up we like had like knee deep poop water. Don't judge me. Knee deep of poop water. Walking into the next village. So we like walked until like 5:30 in the morning. Yo, Siri, I'm gonna let you jump in there later. So basically, my bad, that probably killed it. Poop water, running through the canals, and we're still just getting chased here and there. You can hear them circulating. And so we ended up going underground into the canals, leading into the next village over. It's 5:30 in the morning, 6, and we're just processing the fact that we got shot at by Mexican police, and like that could have been the end of like any of us, you know? And we're just like, we go by somebody's front yard, we start hosing ourselves, and we just start walking back going, damn, we love this shit. Like, the next day we just went out to go paint again. Like nothing happened, like as if we were not about to lose our life the night before to like the police, you know? So yeah, so that's when it started, and that's when it like skyrocketed, that rush of like, no, I'm gonna keep doing this. Like, I love this shit. Like, this rush, this feeling, this intense feeling of like, I can walk by that piece and be like, that wall has a story now. Like, if I ever drive by it, even if I go now, like if I take any of you guys there, I can literally look at the wall and go, that's where I got shot at. Like, that's where I tried painting, that's where I ran, this is where I did all that. It's just stories that you leave in this world that are like, it makes this addiction even more real. And like, it just...
Man,
going on tangent, it's gonna be a lot of editing.
Nah, man, I'm already editing in my head too. It's crazy. But dang, when did you feel like, dang, this has been my best work. This is, you know.
That's the thing about an artist, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I was thinking about right now. I was like, because we're always not. I wouldn't say reinventing ourselves, but every time we made something, we're like, dang, that's amazing. Like, like the other day, I was looking at something that I made, and I was just like, back then, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, like,
but you
get
see,
what I'm saying?
And that taps back into the whole like, this whole journey is just growing, and it's like feeling like you're at your utmost, but also understanding that you can grow even bigger. So there you go.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like, I can't say, like, I can say I've had a lot of moments where I acknowledged my growth,
yeah,
but not that it's my best work. There you go.
This is a better question. When did you feel like I'm gonna make a career out of this?
That was when I was a freshman in high school. I was very kind of like, I was very social, but very antisocial at the same time, just because I hung out with a lot of seniors at that time, and I was like the only freshman that like I wanted to just do graffiti, and I'm into art, and not a lot of friends at that time did a lot of that. And so what I did is like, I would make stencils, cut out stencils, and I had to do it very low key because my dad didn't like me doing any of this. He thought that I would end up like my mother. He thought that like it was just a bad avenue for me because of the whole, of course, it's graffiti. Of course, you don't want your kids doing that. Yeah. So I get you, love you, pops. But like at the time, like he just did everything in his power to stop me. He'd like throw away markers. He'd like just like rip up pieces. Like everything he could do, he did it, you know. And so so that's when I realized like I would cut out stencils in my garage, like in the back of the garage, and then like when he'd ask like, hey, what are you doing back there? It's like, oh no, just cleaning or just playing with toys, you know, this type of deal. But in reality, I'm just cutting out these stencils, and like I would have a spray can that I like got from a friend at school, just like spray it on a shirt. And so I'd have the stencil on a shirt, and people would be like, yo, that's so sick, like, yo, can you make me one? And I'm like, okay, like here, just pay me $20, you know, paid me $20. I'd make these stencil on shirts. Like I first had like probably like 3 people hit me up, and like at that time, like I was like, I made $60 just stenciling this shirt. This is dope. Like, ooh, that's food money. That's paint money. I'm about to hook up some Prismas and some deco markers, because that's what it was on. Everybody was hitting everybody's black books. Like that's what it was about, you know. And I think that's when it like that entrepreneurial, like art vibe really like in like that. My own personal spark was like, whoa, sorry. My own personal spark started to really like light up and burn up. But what I just did remember is I actually got my main entrepreneurial mindset from my mom, actually, because when she was here and she had all her drawings, what she would do is, I was in 5th grade, what she would do is she'd like do all her drawings, and we had a printer. She'd print them on sticker sheets, cut them out, and we'd literally sell, like she'd have me selling stickers at school. So I'd basically like have her artwork, and people would be like, yo, this one's cool, how much is this one? It's like, oh, it's just $1. And it's just like a regular piece of like sticker paper, you know, with her drawing on it. And I think one of the main moments too was when one of my teachers was just like, are you selling this? And then they saw it and they're like, oh, let me get that one. And so I think it was that teacher letting it slide that like also like pushed me to be like, oh damn, okay, like we got teachers in 5th grade buying stickers off a student right now. But yeah, but now that I'm thinking about it, I will give credit to my mom for a lot of the entrepreneurial like inspiration and like, you know, just inheritance to it. Because my dad taught me how to like just have a hardworking mentality, but my mom taught me how to like finesse in like the best way ever, like using that talent to finesse that like, yeah, that craft.
Did that give you more ideas to like use your artwork to, because obviously you're selling stickers, you're selling t-shirts. What was like the next thing you're like, I could just do this too? Yeah.
I started doing canvases when I was probably a junior in high school, and like I was in 7 clubs. And then apart from that, I would go to like this class every Sunday with John Zender Estrada. Shout out to Zender. Like, I appreciate you for everything, because he's the first person to like put us on to like making our own canvases, using graffiti as like, you know, not just an outlet, but as a skill to like really market ourselves and grow in ourselves. And so when he would teach us that, he actually got us into our first gallery showcase. Well, my first gallery showcase, which was in Venice Beach, Buckwild Gallery. Shout out to Ken. And when I saw that, like when I did that, I sold 3 canvases that day. They were small canvases, and I was just like, whoa, I can do this? Yo. And then once that happened, it just clicked. Like I have the ability to like put this on a surface that I can market and give to people, because it's not just selling a canvas. You're like, dude, an extension of you is literally part of somebody's life now, you know? And that's what really fueled me to just continue to like sell canvases and like provide work for people and like really market myself in that sense. So that's when it started to really spark, like my junior year of high school. Yeah.
I want to touch on this. It's like, man, because I love the entrepreneur part, because I listen to podcasts about that all the time.
You got Gary Vee?
The what?
Gary Vee or what?
I need to look him up.
Bro, you know Gary Vee, no?
No.
Bro, you're gonna love the shit out of that guy.
Okay.
Gary Vee.
Gary Vee.
Shout outs to Gary Vee. I salute you. I appreciate you for all your hustle and ambition. I hope that makes it.
I was gonna say, isn't it kind of weird how you can make something in your mind and then bring it to the physical world?
Oh,
like, how weird
you
is
just
that?
opened up. Oh, bro, you just opened up a box, dude. That is the beauty of like us as a society and as humans, you know, having the ability to do that. And what it is, and I think I was watching. It's a show on Hulu, or it's something about gods. What is it called? Oh, it's gonna bug the shit out of me. It's about gods where like it talks about like the god of like mischief and the god of like wisdom, but then like the new gods of technology and the gods of like.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right? But in that show, one of the first episodes, and shout out to Tatiana for like putting me onto that show. One of the first episodes shows this main character. He's trying to get on a plane, right? And then there's this god that like, I forgot what god he was of, but he like basically schools him going, yo dude, like think about this. Like you're on a plane and yeah, it's a storm and it's shaky, but isn't it crazy how like one person believed in himself enough to go, I can make something go up in the air and fly. It goes against the wind, I can make it fly. I can make that happen. Like he did that. He believed in he believed in himself so much and in his own idea so much that like after that others believed in it. That's why you have flights with like hundreds of people on them, because like they don't know how the plane works, but they believe in it so much that they get on it. You know, they disregard their life in a sense to just like, hey, I believe in this so much because someone else believed in themselves so much to create it. So that's how I feel about artists, and like you're mentioning, like to think of something and make it happen. It's like that takes a lot of like believing in yourself to make that happen, because you already, before you even like make it come to life, you already have all these like mental obstacles that are like standards from society and like even some physical standards. But then you're like, no, like once you set all that aside and you believe in yourself enough, like that's when you have that clear walkway to just create that. And then that's what also sparks like this ability to create your own reality, because once you realize like, I can create this, what else can I create, you know? And then that's when you start to like go on this beautiful journey of just like, I have the power and ability to do this, you know? And I am unstoppable. I can't get the tattoo. I am unstoppable. Right, there you go. Boom.
Let me see this real quick.
Ooh.
Hey.
And that's where that sparks from, having that ability to just like do whatever you set your mind to and believing in yourself that much. I'm just gonna something.
Yeah, that's a trip, man. I feel like even for me, filmmaking is one of those things that you just like, you see, it's almost like making a picture, you know, like you see how something that you want to be seen, you know, and then you're like, you try to create that. This is a question I want you to answer is like, how was that bridge between you being, I guess, an amateur artist and to seeing like what you wanted to see? Because there is that gap where it's like, this is where I'm at, but this is where I want to be, you know? And then it's like, but when you're making it, you're not making it look like the way that you want it to be. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
That is the rigorous, never-ending journey of an artist. Where it's something that, like, when they say we're our worst critics, it is the realest thing. But when you also understand that, like, these other people that are there, they had to do something. They had to put in their 10,000 hours. You know, they were patient with themselves. Even if it doesn't look like it, like, they went through this reckless journey of just like, yo, I'm gonna make this happen. Because those artists that we look up to, at some point, they were just like us. You know, and that's what I like to imagine, like, even with anything, with videography, with photography, with music, these are all things that I want to personally tap into, that I see stuff that like you shoot and stuff that other people shoot and edit, and I'm like, I want to get there. I try to do it and it's not coming out that way. And I think that's what like separates people though. Like some people are so quick to be like, oh, man, I'm never gonna get there, you know, like I'm just gonna, you know, I'm stop. But no, but like when you have someone that understands like, I'm not gonna get there yet, but as long as I keep working on it and putting in my hours, that's one more hour, that's one more minute closer to getting to that. you know? And I feel like that's what it is. All that separates that is just the means of dedication and passion that you are willing to invest into it. So what I would do is when I'd see my graph and I'd be like, man, I wanted to get to that level. Oh, I still can't get it. It's like, shit, like I really did give myself a hard time, but at the same time, I like decided to humanize myself as well and understand that like, hey, it all takes practice. It all takes dedication and persistence, you know, to like get to that point. Because if it was easy, anybody could do it. And if anybody can do it, the value of it just completely diminishes, you know? Like people wouldn't value the type of things that you create if it was that simple, you know? And so I think that's what it is, just like, in a sense, also faking it till you make it, where it's like you just go, you know what, I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna make that happen. Meanwhile, I'm still gonna be feeling myself because I want that attitude of me already being there, you know? And that's basically what I did. I just like was like, yo, I'm gonna get there one day. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what stops me. Like nothing's gonna stop me from wanting to get to this end point, but even after that end point, wanting to grow into myself and further into myself after that happens, you know? So
yeah, I remember when I was like doing a little graph too. I like loved it.
You did graph?
I did a little
what?
Bit, man. I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle.
Yeah, man.
What did you write?
I wrote it was a local crew. It was in Norwalk. It was called the crew was called Emmy Dub.
Emmy Dub.
Everywhere. And then
wait, Mew crew?
Mew, yeah.
You were part of Mew?
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
What year was this?
It was like, dude, man, it was probably like 2011.
Bro, I've seen Mew crew up.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
That's like back in the day stuff, you know?
Bro.
Yeah, we were rolling Emmy Dub, and I was writing EWPS.
Oops. Okay.
Yeah, but that was back in the day. You know what I mean? So yeah, I used to write. I loved it. I loved it so much. That's why I like doing this. You know, doing this kind of docu stuff because it's like it hits home a little bit. You know. Yeah.
I am shook as.
Yeah, dude, totally.
Oh
yeah.
my damn.
Yeah, dude, the thing I was gonna say, I was like, dude, because I used to watch a lot of videos, you know what I mean? I used to like watch like,
Infamy and all these vids.
Dude,
bro. Oh.
Favorite documentary ever.
Bro, they did such a beautiful job.
Beautiful job.
Oh, like capturing all these different sides.
Oh my god.
I fucking love Earsnot,
what
dude.
What an amazing story. You know
Earsnot, I'm going to New York.
Earsnot, hear about
like, if we can put that out there. Earsnot, I'm about to go to New York.
Oh my god.
Childhood dream is just to go bombing with you, or even just mobbing down the street while we go get some chopped cheese or some shit. Like, I need to link up with you. Let's make that clip happen. I need to link up with you, bro. Bro.
Yeah, dude, one of my biggest favorite artists was Augur.
Augur?
Oh. Freaking amazing.
Dude,
work,
he was a beast, man.
Straight beast. Straight up. What was that, MSK?
Yeah, it was he was from TSL, 7th Letter,
yeah,
MSK.
7th Letter, yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's just one of those guys that, like, his style, you can see that it, like, changed the game, bro.
Dude, totally.
It's such a grimy style. Bro.
Dude, his Billboard videos, too, I'm like, because he made everything cohesive. Like, if he did, like, the Stranger Things, he would make it with that style.
Exactly.
You know?
And I feel like that inspired a lot of artists now in LA, like Sot and A-God and Buge. Like, these are all heads that, like, they do billboards now, you know?
Yeah.
And
Sot. Yeah.
Sot,
bro.
bro.
He kind of has that grimy style, too.
It's like, it's
that
such...
that Cuddy style.
It's a style that, like... It's placed under that circumstances like, yo, we need to do this shit quick, you know, and get this shit done in and out type of deal. And you see it in the style, but like what they're doing is they're incorporating it with the, like you said, in the billboards, like the perfect way, but they're also making that shit look so clean. Like, I give it up to y'all. Like, holy hell.
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm over here spazzing. We're out here gigging over graph shit. I love this.
I know, dude. I love, I was into it a lot. Like,
so that's why you knew the Pez print.
I do. I know, man.
Okay, that.
A little bit of that.
Connected that dot there. Okay.
I love Infamy. Tell you right now, I love Infamy.
Bruh.
Anywho, back to the
Bro, I love this shit. All right, yeah. Let me take a sip of this real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Great. Infamy was my favorite documentary, though. It made.
Black Book from high school.
Black Book.
Oh, dude.
I used to Black Book all the time too, man.
Like just all this shit.
I wish I had my stuff still. It's so sad. You know, I have some of my stuff on Flickr.
Really, bro?
Yeah.
Release that. You see, like this is like. There you go. If you can add that to the whole combo, like what was like your Like what you think was like your best piece? When I was in high school and I was doing graph, I thought this was my best piece. The incorporation of mixed media and the colors and just like the letters and the arrows. You can't forget the big arrow. Like, I thought I was the shit. I was like, yo, this is dope. Like, ain't nobody got nothing on me.
That chunky
I like it chunky.
I like it chunky too.
Hey, you know, a little bit in there, you know, to work with. But yeah, man, I fucking love this shit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Not here before I go on a tangent with the book. But yeah, so it was more of like, that question was more tapping into like what led me to
just kind of like, well, you know, it's because you look at where you're at now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's totally different. I'm pretty sure you're making art that you're kind of like pre-visualizing in your head,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're able to make it.
Yeah.
Which is obviously, it takes time. You know.
Yeah.
What I mean? It takes a lot of time.
Just like a muscle, my dude.
Yeah. What do you think about some of the kids that are? We kind of touched on it already.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think about the kids that are like, man, my stuff like sucks, you know? Like my stuff, I want to quit.
I just say keep it pushing, man. Keep it going. Like, you know, if you don't believe in you, no one's gonna believe in you, dude. You know, like it's that simple. It's something that's so like simple, and you don't have to like let society's like pressure of like, well, if you suck at that, then don't do it. Like, no, fuck that. You complete that. Fuck that. All right. If I would have done that, I'd probably working a shitty ass job. I probably would have gone like, I probably had the ideal route, you know, of life, but like I'd be miserable. I know that I wouldn't be fulfilled. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you find something that you really want to be good at, dive into it. Dive into it, give it all you got, understand that it's not gonna be easy, but also understand that if it was, it wouldn't be worth it, because nothing good comes easy. And then, you know, just keep giving yourself the credit that you feel you deserve. Whether it's you improving on lines that you were doing a piece on, or you even like adding extra things to something that you already think it like looks good in your eyes, grow with it, because at the end of the day, it's like the only validation that matters is your own, you know? Other people's validation is cool because it's like, oh, cool, some people dig it, you know? Some people don't. That is what it is. That's the name of the game. But like, focus on proving people right when they say your shit is dope, but focus on proving yourself right. When you say to yourself, like, I got this, I'm growing, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and I'm just gonna have fun doing this shit. Because if you don't have fun doing something, like, what's the point? Like, that's something that I learned throughout my years of like designing and working with people. Like, I found my moments where I like hated doing jobs, and I was like, dude, this sucks. Like, I don't want to do this. You know, I still stuck it out because I like to just get shit done. But then that's when I like also started putting pieces together, realizing like, nah, if it's not fun, if I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, and if I die like the next day, how shitty would that be? Like, I died doing something I didn't even want to do, you know? Like, no, fuck that. Like, everything I do now, it's something that I personally love to do, you know? And nothing's gonna change after that. Like, I've quit jobs that like I love, and I've like stepped aside from jobs that like were my quote unquote dream jobs, just to like tap back into myself and fulfill myself and make myself realize like, yo, dude, this is what you love doing. You love doing your own things on your own terms. You like creating your own reality, you know, with no one's validation being, you know, the goal, but your own validation. So all in all, validate yourself and yourself only. Love yourself enough and believe in yourself enough to just keep it pushing. That's all it is.
What do you feel like about your startup? You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure you never thought about you even having a startup, because you have all these so many different projects, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's cool, like, I think that now that we're in a generation where it's like, you don't even have to work a 9 to 5 anymore. Like, if you work hard and you do what you need to do, you put in the 10,000,
yep.
You know what I mean? Then you don't have to answer to a boss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude.
Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, when you say startup, you're talking about Artefesto, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So, honestly,
even just your own like Diego brand. That's a brand.
Yeah, Artefesto is one of the major brands that actually helped me brand myself as well. Because Artefesto, I guess I'm gonna make this a quick story. Artefesto basically is something that like sparked out of like me participating like when I was 17 in art events, but feeling like it was more of like I participated, but people weren't even really there, you know, they weren't there to fully support. They were just like walking by, and it seemed more of like a spectacle or a gimmick in a sense. And so I was participating in Art Walk. I had like 2 pieces showcased. I paid like $80 to showcase 2 pieces. And I was like, dude, I'm excited. I'm gonna invite everybody from my school. Like, yeah, let's do this. And so when I was there, Art Walk, I'm pretty sure if people aren't aware of Art Walk, it's like downtown LA, they basically take over like majority of the blocks in the center of it, and they have vendors and artists just showcasing all types of craft all over the city. And so you have like around 2,000 to 4,000 people circulating that event, right? I only probably had 5 people stop to talk to me. Like, and it was just very brief, like, oh, this is cool. What was your inspiration, you know? And I was just like, dude, I literally paid $80 to talk to 5 people. And like, I appreciate the 5 people, don't get me wrong, but I was like, dude, I can get much more support out of like my own community in my own area. Why am I coming all the way over here? And that's when it like clicked. I was like, I want something done right. Let me do that shit myself. Let me create my own platform that supports my, you know, my people and my community, you know. And it also, Artfest also sparked from like always feeling like I was kind of an outcast with people, and always feeling like I just didn't belong in places, and always being bullied for it as well. Like growing up with that, and like this Art Walk event thing happening, I was like, dude, I like how my main quote is fuck that, dude. I was like, why am I gonna tolerate this? Like, no, let me create my own show, and let me set up my own things, and let me bring my own people into this and build an art show. And that's when the first event that I hosted was we thought about a name that's gonna pop out. The name was Midget Strippers and Cocaine Art Show. Dude, it was in a small venue in Harbor City. Dude, I was 17, turning 18. It was 2011. I just graduated from high school. So freshman year of college, I was like already trying to like transition into things. But I was just like, dude, no, like let me just do this. Fuck yeah. We set up the event.
What is it called?
Midget Strippers and Cocaine Art Show. Shock factor, right? Oh my God, did it work? Oh my God. So we start setting up the event at Oyup Studios, which is in Harbor City. It was a dance studio that my friend Yvette kind of put us onto. It's 2 floors. The second floor was kind of small, but we still managed to make it work. And the bottom floor had mirrors all over it, so we just managed to make it work. And so what we did is we had 2 bands performing. It was hardcore bands. We should have totally like thought of this before anything. But we had a line forming outside. It was around like 200 to 300 people forming outside just to see this one show, just because like we did something right. Like either it was a shock factor, it was the video that like introduced the event, or something. We did something right. And after that, it clicked to me like, dude, we just created a platform. We created a platform for artists that we feel deserve, like not that deserve, that like they should feel inclusive about, that they should feel supported about. And that's when I started doing like full circle shows, were shows that I would do at a restaurant when I was homeless. So I would basically, David Popix at Peter Popix, shout out to you for believing in me so much to like give me the space to like create a gallery and an art show. He basically helped me turn his restaurant into an art gallery and his lot into an art vendor market. So we would do that every month, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And this platform of supporting artists just kept growing and growing and growing, to the point where like I wanted a bigger venue, and I'm like, yo, Full Circle's cool. It's a great way to involve the community and let them inspire each other, Full Circle. But I want to create something that also serves artists and helps them express themselves with no limitations. And that's when the thought of Artfesto came in. We were thinking about names for a festival that's just like, yo, all out, let's go all out, installations, art, like, you know, pieces, everything. This was also after going to Art in the Streets at Mocha, like seeing all the installations and all these artists literally like have a playground to create. And like that also inspired me to like go, you know what, I want to create that for me and all my friends. And so when we were thinking about names, we've managed to find a venue, Chuco's Justice Center. Shout out to Chuco's. Unfortunately, that venue's not open anymore because Metro decided to like boot them out, and that's very unfortunate. So yeah, fucked up on that, Metro. They luckily let us use their venue, so we literally made that a playground for artists where we painted murals, we did all these things. But that's when we're coming up with the name. It's like, what can we come up with for this art event that's just like nothing but like pure energy and manifestation of just like artists expressing themselves? And I'm like, what's an art event and it's manifestation, and that's when like it clicked to like Artifesto. And it's like art and manifesto being just something that like completely just like like the word just explodes, like, yo, let's manifest. So and that's how Artifesto started, and that's when we realized like, okay, we're not just doing an art show anymore, we are providing the platform that we as artists always wanted, you know, and we're giving it to all these other artists to make them feel very welcome, to provide this sense of inclusivity, or I don't know if that's even a word, but to basically make things inclusive, and also to provide that freedom that every artist kind of wants, you know, that doesn't want to go to an art gallery and be like, hey, can I do this installation, and then go, we don't know if that'll fit here. It's like, no, if they're not taking it, we'll take it. We want you to feel like anything fits here, you know? Mm-hmm. And so yeah, so that's how that started. And it literally started out of me feeling like we have our own support, and sometimes we go out of our own like realms to find it, where it's like, where you already got the good stuff at home, bro, like just make it happen. It's about appreciating the good stuff that you already have at home, and that's how Artifesto started. And that's how that startup started. And just, yeah, it was a lot of, you know, rigorous events and like a lot of learning. There you go. It was a lot of learning experiences of just going, damn, this doesn't work, now I know for next time. That doesn't work, now I know for next time. And then eventually it grew to be like this very beautiful thing, and it eventually started to become like not just an event, but like, hey, Artifesto, would you guys like to go paint this mural? Would you guys like to go do this live event with us? And that's when we realized like, we have something here. Like there's something beautiful here, and there's something that people believe in as much as we do here. And so let's keep it growing. So yeah.
And you're about to give up on it.
I was gonna give up on it because unfortunately, like I was working with some associates, and it's just one of those things where when you go into things, rule number one, full transparency is always the most beautiful thing ever. Like as long as you guys know that you're all on the same page, your direction for your brand is just, it's gonna be, you know, right on right. As long as everyone knows where we're headed, that's all that matters, you know. But unfortunately, it's like I wanted it to be very art oriented and very like, yo, we're here. Like it's all about the art before anything else, before funds, before money, before anything else. It has always been about the art, because the goal was to express ourselves and to give that platform, you know, the utmost, I don't know, like the utmost amount of support while still keeping the utmost amount of integrity. So unfortunately, I had a fallout with some associates, and then that's what made me really question like the brand itself, and made me go like, damn, like it had an emotional toll on me. And I was like, damn, do I really want to keep this going? Like, fuck, like I don't even know, it's a lot of work, like so all that with all the emotions and just dealing with life at the same time was very overwhelming. And that's when I was like, dude, it's not really fulfilling me anymore, because I got like working with other people made me realize like that I just started to stray away from my own values. And that's when I like, luckily it was a blessing in disguise, but I started giving up. And then luckily I got blessed with this dude, Ed Rock. He runs Mar Vista Art Walk. He's one of like the nicest, most kind-hearted and genuine people you'll ever meet. And he's one of the most passionate and dedicated people you ever meet. And it's something that like, I used to see myself in that way, and then that goes to show that with time, like I started kind of losing that with the people that I associated with, and it's like, holy hell. But Ed Rock is one of the people that like brought it back to life. Like he was that like that reality check, and he was that like re-spark of like, yo dude, like no, we're not about that, we're about this. Like, and so I had asked him like, bro, are you down to like help me, you know, with Artifesto? And he was like immediately like, hell yeah dude, I got you. And so once we started working on that, that's when like that true genuine feeling of like, wow, we love doing what we're doing, and we're making this happen. No matter how many hours we put in, no matter how much work we're doing, whether we hurt ourselves doing it, like we did this shit because we love this shit, and because we know the impact that it's gonna have on the community, and we know the impact that like, whether it impacts one artist that gets involved or the 100 artists that get involved, and it finds them that like spark to grow and like believe in themselves more, like we did it for that. That's what we did it for, and that's what we continue doing it for. And now that like it's starting to grow again, ever since he jumped in, once again, shout out Ed Rock, freaking love you dude. Once he jumped in, things just like started skyrocketing, and it's been beautiful, dude. It's actually been like a couple of months, you know, and now like we're doing events. We recently did an event with Venice Ball at the basketball courts, where we had an art battle going down. Not an art battle, it's a Artifesto happen, and then the winner basically gets a chance to paint a basketball court with Venice Ball. So it's like we had provided an opportunity for artists and for ourselves that we didn't even know we'd be able to, And so things are starting to just grow so quick, and it's just so beautiful, dude. Like,
What did he say? What was something that he said? Do you remember that conversation?
Not as much as I would imagine me like remembering. It was more of just feeling it. I felt his energy, because I'm an empath, dude. I feel that shit like crazy. It's a blessing and a curse, but it's more of a blessing. Where I felt him when he's just when I had felt like I was at my lowest with Artifesto, and when I hit him up, his energy of just going, hell yeah, I'm in. I felt that energy of him believing in it so much that it just it made me believe in it again, And so after that happened, we do chop it up here and there, and we always go, dude, we're doing amazing things. We remind ourselves and we give ourselves that appreciation of dude, we're kicking ass, we're making moves, we're providing this for artists, we're making this happen for artists. And I think it's not about one specific moment, it's about every moment that's growing and growing, that we value each other more and more, and we start to value what we're creating more and more. So yeah, so I guess that ties back into the whole healing and journey process, where it's you don't heal, you're always healing, you're always growing. That's the same thing that it is with Ed Rock and Artifesto, where it's we're not at an end point. We're always growing, we're always appreciating ourselves, and we're always finding moments of going, dude, we're doing this, we're making something happen, moments of appreciation and gratitude. That's what they are. Yeah, probably going on tangents, my dude, my bad.
No, this is great. I love them tangents, bro. Who do you feel are, this is kind of a trivial question, but who are your biggest influences?
That's a hard one.
It is a hard one.
Honestly,
top 5.
That's a hard one, but because of course we try to idolize a lot of people that are that have made it, but it's funny because I don't know their stories, so a lot of people that have become my biggest inspirations now, and my biggest influences now, have actually been the people around me. It's so crazy. It's something that society idolizes all these other things and all these other people that have made it, but I actually look up to friends like Ed Rock and my best friend Nina Palomba. Shout out Nina, I love you. And even my pops, people like that are my biggest influences, because never will you ever be able to personally really learn certain things than you do around the people that are around you. That's if you're around the right people. And I'm so blessed and thankful to be around the right people, and especially now in my life after so much that has happened. I'm very grateful to be around those right people, because those are my influences. Every time I see Ed Rock throw a show or do something, I'm like, yo, this is dope. I want to do this now. It inspires me to do something, to push that ante and raise that envelope. Opposite, push the envelope, raise the ante. Or with Nina, when she's painting murals for Powerade or LAFC or all of that, seeing her do this, but also acknowledging that her and I both know each other on a very human level, and that's my soulmate. So I'm just my best friend is one of my soulmates, and I love that. And acknowledging that she's just as human as I am is what gives that so much more of an inspirational drive, because it's she's kicking ass and she's doing it. It inspires me to just do the same. That's what I look up to, just that, And so yeah, it's just the people around me, honestly, the people that I hold close to me, even you, dude, all the things that you're doing and the things that you're growing into and the things that you're realizing about yourself, it immediately it works as a reflection of this energy keeps getting transferred back and forth, and it inspires me to go yo, he just got married, dove into a career that you're really passionate about. That's gonna make me go, dude, I just wanna just dive into the things that I'm passionate about again, and I want to keep striving for it, because I think that the regular people in society don't get the credit that they deserve, because we're so busy idolizing you know, everybody that has already made it, you know, instead of idolizing ourselves and giving ourselves that credit of like, we're all trying to make it, you know?
Yeah.
Another realization. Bro,
I know.
you ever want to find out shit about yourself? Go to Kyle. He will interview you and you will realize things about yourself that you did not know. And it's far cheaper than a therapist. I'm just kidding.
Hey, it is.
After that, he's like, "Man, I'm about to start charging."
You already know, man. Give me a G. Give me my G.
Bro, there you go. Pay the man his respects.
I know that we talked about this, dude. You hit that hard?
Oh, yo, 5 shots of espresso, folks. Get like me.
That's champions juice.
Breakfast of champions.
You talked about also being like your mom has been, I guess, your inspiration. You know.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Just the way that she is. Oh my God, why not, bro? Oh, it's like happened in like good ways and bad ways. Where of course, like some of the mistakes that we make, we usually tend to demonize and like stigmatize people for it. But instead, like you need to really look at them, and like when you see these mistakes, you need to see not what happens during the mistakes, but what happens after those mistakes. You know, like whether the person grows or decides to kind of fall in that pattern, or whether they try to make the effort or like completely give up. And that's something that I admire about my mom a lot, and that's something that I feel like I've carried with me as well. And I'm like, now that I'm growing older, I'm starting to like really mature and like acknowledge that about myself as well, is that like I don't jump back into like toxic behaviors anymore. And so things like that have been account of my mother, like realizing that like, yo, yeah, she dipped, but she came back to make that effort.